Today I'm putting warm season grass seed down on my lawn. I personally am going to be putting down buffalo grass, but this could be bahia grass, it could be centipede, it could be zoysia, it could be buffalo grass, it could be Bermuda grass. What you see in my main lawn behind me is Bermuda grass. Over on the parkway strip next to the road, that is buffalo grass. As I get close to the road, I got 2 pots of soil. I'm going to be putting Bermuda grass seed here, Arden 15. And over here in this pot, I'm going to be putting down centipede grass. Centipede grass is a common grass type down in the south, spanning all the way over to Texas. It could grow just about anywhere, but it will die over the course of the winter if it's in the wrong spot. This is my buffalo grass spot, so my actual lawn space that I'm going to be expanding with grass seed this week is buffalo grass. I'm going to be putting it down from about here all the way to about there. In case you're curious, this is about 5 feet wide, and that is, I don't know, about 30 feet wide. I calculated this a couple days ago. It's about 170 square feet. Last week, I put in new irrigation lines, and I kind of matched it up with the expansion of my my decorative quote unquote retaining wall, which I've only built to about here. So the grass will match it, and we'll continue on 170 square feet. This is all going to be buffalo grass. All of these are warm season grasses. The only grass types from the warm season category that I have never grown from seed is St. Augustine, which you can't grow from seed. It's got to be propagated. And bahia grass, which you could grow from seed, but it doesn't really work very well in my climate, so I've never tried it. This is the centipede grass I'm going to be putting in a pot. I'm not going to maintain it in my lawn, but I will have it as a decorative pot. All of these seeding processes, I use peat moss, but you could use coconut coir, which I have used in the past, and you could use straw blankets or just straight up straw placed on top to help all of the seed retain moisture and germinate. This is the buffalo grass that I'm growing. It's what I've got going over there on the parkway strip already. Arden 15 Bermuda grass is the Bermuda that I'm growing. I already have Bermuda in my main lawn, but it is not Arden 15. I do have a pot of Whitted kikuyu grass, which is a warm season grass grown mostly in Southern California. I've got it in a small pot over there, kind of a decorative pot behind that little rock over there. It's also what you're going to find in many Southern California grasses all throughout the neighborhoods. It looks a lot like St. Augustine, but it's got a different texture. It's got a different stoloniferous growth habit to it, and it's got a different leaf tip shape to it. I did a couple years ago grow a small pot of Empire zoysia. I could grow a little bit more right now. I do have a pot over there, which I don't have anything growing in, so I might do that as well. All of these warm season grasses pretty much grow the same way. They enjoy heat. They enjoy hot temperatures so long as they're able to stay moist, wet, and hydrated. Nothing about warm season grasses means that they enjoy drought. They just enjoy the heat so long as they have moisture. Cool season grasses, like what I'm sitting on right now, this is Kentucky bluegrass. These grass types enjoy cooler temperatures and moisture. So by the time summer rolls around, when the temperatures get super hot, it's harder on them. So it requires more moisture to offset the heat and evaporative loss that soils experience. Growing any of these grass seeds from seed is really no different than cool season grasses, except for the fact of temperature. Cool season grasses will start germinating at 45, upwards of 55 degrees. And as they get beyond 55 degrees to 65, 70, they'll germinate faster. However, warm season grasses are not going to germinate in soils that are below 55 degrees. You're looking more at 10 degrees higher for all things. So soil temperatures need to be minimum 55 degrees, upwards of 65 degrees, and then as they progress up closer to 80 and 85, they will still continue germinating compared to cool season grasses that will not. Obviously, as temperatures get up into the 80 degrees, it's harder to keep the soil moist for that amount of time. Also, the vast majority of warm season grasses desire full sun conditions for a longer period of the day, which is why we seed warm season grasses towards the end of spring when the days are the longest as we push into the warmest times of the year. This is in comparison to cool season grasses that we can seed at the very early part of spring, but most efficiently at the end of summer in the August to September timeframe when temperatures are starting to drop. These grass types don't require nearly as much full sun, and they are able to grow just fine with lower temperatures, so long as the temperatures aren't getting down close to freezing. All right, now other than temperature, germinating grass seed from the warm season categories is just like germinating cool season grasses. You could overseed it, but if you're overseeding, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to overseed a random buffalo grass into something like this. This is a Texoka. Doesn't make any sense to overseed a warm season grass into another warm season grass if you don't know the varieties. So if I were to take any random buffalo grass seed and overseed it into here, it might be a different variety. Warm season grasses have the ability to grow what these are. These are called stolons. So if you don't know what the variety is, you can pull a stolon off of the ground and propagate it, just like you would in like the garden or like an orchard or something like that. This is super duper important because this buffalo grass might be different than a buffalo grass seed that you grow or that you find in a store. So if you put one seed down next to something existing, the color might be different. The texture might be different. The leaf blade width might be different. You're going to be able to tell the difference later on. The same thing goes for any sort of St. Augustine that you might have versus a plug that you buy, or an existing Bermuda grass, where you buy a Bermuda grass seed, centipede, zoysia, etc. You're only going to be putting down seed if you know you can match the variety exactly. Here, this is where I'm going to be putting my buffalo grass down. I'm putting the exact same variety of buffalo grass down. It's going to work out just fine. My soil temperatures right now are 92, which is pretty high, but we are going into a cool stretch over the next 5 to 7 days. So these soil temperatures should drop just a little bit. Plus this is peak afternoon temperature. So that's the highest temperature it's going to be throughout the course of the day. The average for the lowest part of the day and the highest part of the day, probably around 85 right now. Later in the week, it'll probably be in the upper 70s. So I'm going to go ahead and put the seed down right now. The exact buffalo grass seed that I've got growing here. This is the newest patch. See how patchy it is. This is the older stuff, which is looking pretty good. There's a couple little dry spots in there. But we don't want to put it on hard packed soil. Like, there's nothing fluffy about that. So that means you need to get out your hard tined rake and really rake it up and fluff up that upper ½ inch. Or you can use an electric machine, which is what I'm going to use, which is what I've used for years now. It's called an electric dethatcher or an electric scarifier, depending on, depending on the marketing material. But it's basically an electric machine with a drum on the bottom that spins vertically and scrapes up the ground. It ends up turning hard dirt like this into fluffy dirt like this, the exact same stuff. This fluffy dirt we can amend very easily and then just spread on the ground. The grass seed can germinate in it very, very easily. Now, if you're still watching this video, 18 days has passed. Right now, everything is starting to dry out. My buffalo grass is germinated. It's starting to grow over here on the strip. I don't know how much it comes out on the screen. I'll get a close-up shot of it here in a few seconds. I also have my centipede and my Bermuda grass in the pots over here. When you germinate any grass seed from seed, when you germinate grass from seed of any variety, you need to keep it moist like all of the time. So best case scenario is you're going to be coming outside 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day and keeping everything wet. You put a little bit of water on it to keep it wet. You don't want to saturate it and move the seed around, but you don't want to dry it out by only watering it once or twice a day. By the time things germinate, I start dialing back the frequency of watering and I start increasing the duration of watering. So instead of watering the grass seed 5 times a day for like 30 seconds, I'm going to start watering the grass seed 1 time a day for like 3 minutes. And then after it's been growing for a while, then I'll start pulling it back to watering it once every couple days for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, getting that water deeper and deeper into the ground and allowing the upper soil levels to dry out. There goes a big van. That's what happens when you film on the side of the road. Let's go take a look up close. I do want you to understand though, that warm season grasses germinate from seed across the board slower than cool season grasses. So if you put down like a ryegrass on the lawn, you could have that stuff growing within like 5 days. But for instance, if you're putting down centipede grass, I got germination here on days 16, 17, and here on 18, it's barely there. It is very slow, even slower than Kentucky bluegrass, which is pretty much the slowest of the cool season varieties that most people put down. Before I get to the buffalo grass, let's come over here. This doesn't look impressive. It will in another month or so. But here we've got the earliest stages of centipede grass. And over here, we've got the very earliest stages of Bermuda grass. You can clearly tell that the two grasses are very different right out of the gate. Both grow from seed much slower than buffalo grass. As you can see, the buffalo grass is pretty much all over the place. It's just very, very thin. Every single one of these buffalo grass sprouts will thicken up and start putting out stolons in all directions. Regardless though, if you're going to put down a fescue, this is a sheep's fescue. I've got now I've got Kentucky bluegrass on the other side of my SUV over there. But prior to the KBG, I had put down a ryegrass over there. Those things grow in and look like a full lawn in 10 days. Warm season grasses never do it that fast. You're almost always going to put a lot less grass seed down with warm season grasses per 1,000 square feet, simply because every seed that goes down and sprouts is going to spread side to side. You don't need as much seed. You do need a little bit more time. Now behind me you see my main Bermuda grass lawn. There's the mature buffalo grass all the way over by the road. Everything eventually looks spectacular. Getting to that point, you got to be patient. And after your grass seed germinates, depending on what grass variety you have, there are things that you can do to deal with the weeds. As you noticed in my brand new buffalo grass strip, I have some weeds also germinating. Make sure to watch this video up here, which goes into exactly what I typically do to deal with those weeds in the earliest stages of a new lawn.